Welcome to CSN, the Network Podcast. This is your host, Kavon Cutler, with my lovely co-host, Malik Hampton and Dri Nazario. How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing great, man. As Dri would say, blessed, highly flavored.
Blessed and highly favored. How are you?
Likewise, man. Doing better now that I'm talking to you two.
For sure. It was a beautiful day today. A beautiful day to pod. Let's get into it.
Man, diving straight in, man, real quick. You know, this is the first episode, the pilot episode, Married to the Game. The premise of us even starting this podcast, us starting this business, this media network, was for us to provide a platform for creatives. You know, we were tired of the same old news stories being recycled. We were tired of, you know, people saying controversial things to, you know, generate traffic, which we respect, but we wanted to have a platform that's pure, that honors our athletes, our current athletes, our past athletes. And we also wanted to provide the platform for people to share their stories, to share their insights, so youngins cannot make the same mistakes. You know, where we all come from, it's a place where it's hard to get recruited. You know, it's not too many highly regarded recruits coming out the area. And, you know, it's a lot of information that we can offer and that we can give back. So it's a responsibility that we all took upon, you know, myself, Dri, Malik, when we all decided to start this podcast, you know, to help push the culture forward, but like I said, to help change the narrative for the youngins, because that's who it's all about, our future, that's our next generation. So, you know, with that being said, you know, the pilot episode is solely based on giving y'all a taste of which I will see in the future, interviewing two of the best athletes, in my opinion, from the area. You know, we got two young adults that's not too far from high school. You got Malik Hampton, you know what I mean? The name ring bells for itself. You got Dri Nazario, short for Dri. Dri Nazario, the name ring bells for itself. So, you know, we're about to get into their story. So, you know, with that being said, first, you know, let's do the queen first. Let's do Dri, getting right into it, man. Dri went to G-Dub High School, which is George Washington High School in full, which is here in Charleston, West Virginia. She went on to play 4 years of basketball, being a starter all 4 years at North Carolina A&T State University. Dri's senior year at G-Dub, she averaged 18 points per game, 6 assists per game, 6 rebounds per game, along with 4 steals and 2.3 blocks per game. Dri started point guard, was a starter all 4 years of high school. You know, real quick, just to go through the accolades, she was four-time All-State. Her freshman and sophomore year, she was second team All-State. Junior and senior year, she was first team All-State. Junior year, she was MSAC Player of the Year. And yeah, man, I just think she's the beauty and the beast. You know, one of the illest to do it. You know, if I must say so myself, when you think of Renee Montgomery, when you think of Alexis Hornbuckle, you got to think of Dri Nazario too. You got to put her right up with those names, right up with the big homies. You know what I'm saying? We getting that age now. We big homie status now. So with that being said, Dri, you know, just tell us a little bit about your story. You know, a little bit about your background before we get into the questioning. You know, I hope I didn't leave anything out, but if you had to, you know, elaborate on anything I said or expound on anything I said, you know, what would you say?
No, I think you covered it. You know, I started my high school career at Nitro. Like you said, freshman year, I was freshman of the year. And it was cool. So I'll kind of start from the beginning. You know, born and raised Charleston, West Virginia. It's funny because I didn't start playing basketball till probably like second grade. And I had to beg my dad to play basketball. He would not let me play basketball for whatever reason. So my big brother, Terry, he actually put the ball in my hand. I would just go to the court with him. And he like, here, man, just shoot around just so I would leave him alone or whatever. So he actually started teaching me, you know, how to play. And then finally, my dad saw that I was serious about it and he let me play. So I hooped with uh, all of my cousins, Marel, Mo, Mario, all of the prominent names in the city. Uh, those were the guys that helped me. Jason Perry, those were the guys that actually helped me become good. Because when I was like I said, we hooped together, and they wouldn't take it easy on me. They was crossing me up, whatever. They was rebounding over me, whatever they could do. They were not taking it easy on me. So I attribute, my skill set to being around those guys, growing up with those guys, playing with those guys, pretty much all my life. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it started. And I'll tell you a funny story. When I first started playing basketball, Big Cuff was the all-star coach. And I was in second grade. We all was playing up. Now, mind you, I'm not that good at the time. I'm all right, but I'm taller than everybody, right? I hit my growth spurt way before everybody else. So we get to our first game, and Big Cuff pulled me to the side, and he was like, you only on the team because I'm cool with your dad, right? He was like, don't expect to play that much, just have fun. And I'm like, all right, cool. And for whatever reason, that young, and I lie to you not, something sparked. And nobody was ever able to tell me I was on a team because of my dad again or because of somebody else again. I would be on a team because I'm good enough to be on a team. And from that point on, like I said, I just took it serious and worked on my game, and somehow I got good.
That's dope. That's dope, man. I appreciate that insight. You touched on it a little bit, but starting with the questions, what occurred during your development to prepare you for your success in basketball? Like what were you doing behind the scenes? I'm sure your dad had a huge impact on your development, but what were you doing just on your own to really help set you apart and really prepare you for the success that you saw throughout your life?
I think I just took the game seriously. I worked on it all year round. Like I said, I have three brothers, so obviously a competitive household. Got mostly boy cousins that are around my age, so just being around them and seeing how they can move, especially like I said, Mo and Marel, they were, nice when we were little. So just seeing all the moves and stuff that they were doing and just trying to mimic that. Um, Always kind like I said, had a competitive edge and just wanting to get better, honestly. Yeah, I just, fell in love with the game, and like I said, I just worked on it all year round. Wasn't nothing else. I didn't do anything else. I stopped dancing, I stopped cheering. Once I picked up the basketball, it was just me and basketball.
Respect. Piggying back on that, I know you very well. So, if you remember, and I'm sure Malik can attest to this too, Dri played the big man when we was kids. So how do you think playing big when we was younger helped you as far as your basketball IQ as you grew older? You know what I mean? Because of course you went from playing big to being the point guard for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So like how did, kind of being multifaceted, being able to play multiple positions, how did that help shape your basketball IQ?
Like I said, I hit my growth spurt pretty early, so I was taller than everybody else. Um, I think it just helped me think the game more in depth. So I know how, if I'm looking at a big man and I see, somebody guarding them on a certain side, I know where to throw the ball so they can, know how to score or whatever the case may be. I know how to set screens. I know how to box out and rebound, just different things that always allow me to stay on the floor. So even if I'm not the quickest, I can outsmart you because I know every position on the basketball floor. So I think that was kind of my edge growing up, is that I knew the game of basketball inside and out. So like I said, even if I wasn't the most talented, I wasn't the quickest, I wasn't the strongest, I was probably the smartest on the floor because I just knew the game. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I don't know if that answered your question or not.
No, it answered my question. Could you take us through some of your personal workout regimens? What were some of the things that you did to really hone in on your skills? I know, and Malik used to be with us too. We say we don't have school that day or it's a snow day. We not sledding. We walk into the rec. You know what I mean? We may sled for like 30 minutes, but we hooping at the rec. So that's runs. That's 5-on-5. What were you doing by yourself to get your left hand strong? What were you doing to be able to shoot a left hand layup? You got to remember when we were in middle school, back in our era, that was kind of rare where somebody could be just as dominant with their offhand as they are with their dominant hand. You know what I mean? So what kind of things you were doing? Because just thinking back current times, there's a lot of young ladies now that can hoop. You know what I mean? You're someone that's reachable. You know what I'm saying? Some of the big homies, they're not as easily accessible to some of the young ladies as you are. That's just off the strength of us constantly being at home, constantly just being available. So what were some of the things that you did, regiment-wise, as far as your personal regiment that prepared you, for high school, college, and so forth?
I'll always start with like a 10-minute ball handling drill, where I'm doing pounds, different crossovers, variations, stationary. And then obviously I would move to like full court ball handling. But the main thing is anything that I would do with my right hand, I made sure I could do it with my left hand. So if I'm working on my right side for, 5-10 minutes, whatever move I'm doing, if I'm going right, the next step is do that move going left. So just to make sure I'm comfortable going either way. And I'll tell you, Chief, I don't know if you remember him. He played at UC. He became my trainer later in my high school career, and he just helped me look at the game a little bit different. It's small details that separate you, and that's how I train now. It's just focusing on footwork, making sure I could shoot off either foot, making sure I could shoot. Some people like shooting left, right. Some people can only shoot going right, left. But I made sure I could shoot either way, jump stops, whatever the case may be. So just working on small, intricate details that then like it carries over to where, like I said, just knowing all positions, if you can shoot or you could dribble or whatever the case may be, you're never uncomfortable. So nobody can ever stop you or take something away from you, because if they take one thing away, you could do it in another facet, if that makes sense.
Right.
So yeah, just focusing on the small details, footwork, obviously. I know before my junior year, I was at North Charleston Rec every day, running a mile on the sleds, the parachute, things like that. We used to go to Lately, run the stairs, all of that. Coach Tony had us on a crazy workout regimen because he played basketball in college also. So he was having us do college workouts off the rip. Started lifting. Yeah, we started lifting weights like mad early, like probably 8th grade, just lifting, doing a lot of different like plyometric stuff, box jumps, all of that good stuff. Like we were on it. Like it wasn't no coincidence that we were miles ahead of everybody else, in the state as far as skill set and strength is concerned, because, we were doing those type of things.
So you spoke on some of the extra work that you had to put in to really hone your craft. Can you take us through what you had to do in order to be recruited? I personally know, but for our listeners that are unaware, can you take them through some of the strategic things that you had to do, you and your father? It's not just AAU trips, guys. You got to sacrifice some weekends. You got to sacrifice, spending time with friends, family, to make some of these trips, to go to some of these camps, go to some of these showcases, so you can really, place value on yourself, create value for yourself. So can you just walk us through how you were able to create value for yourself in your recruiting process, some of the things that you and your father did, some of the trips that you went on, some of the tournaments, showcases that you went to help gain that exposure?
So I'll touch on AAU first. For AAU, I think it's very important to know which type of AAU tournaments you're going to. You want to make sure you're going to live recruiting tournaments where coaches are actually going to be there, or scouts who rank you are going to be there. That's very important, because I'm not going to say a lot, but some AAU programs, they just taking kids' money, going to like GBA tournaments and stuff where nobody's around, it's just to play basketball. And that's not what AAU is intended to do. So if you want to get recruited, make sure you're going to the right type of tournaments. And within those tournaments, I went to a couple live tournaments where I ended up getting ranked and noticed, by a couple of college coaches. And then from there, like you said, me and my pops just hit the road probably from 10th grade up until I graduated. We went all up and down the East Coast, just visiting campuses. I went to a bunch of like camps, like elite camps, where the coaches get to have their eyes on you. What else? Went to camps with my high school too. My high school told my high school coach what I wanted to do. He got the team together. We went to a couple of college camps there, team camps. We also played out of state a couple of times, like in Christmas tournaments and jamborees and stuff like that. So I appreciate Coach Lamaster for doing that for me too. Not just for me, but we had a bunch of talented people on the team that said that they wanted to do the same thing. So he went after it, he attacked it. And I feel like some coaches lack that, I guess, knowledge, or want to help. And you gotta get on the phone with these people for real. My pops was almost like my manager, in the sense where he's sending out, my highlight tape, check this out. He got a mouthpiece on him, so he's just talking to people, check out my daughter, or whatever. And then from there, you gotta show up, show and prove that you deserve the look, basically. So
Absolutely. So outside of that, piggyback on, because you just touched on this, I can tell that your father, Dre, played a big role in selling you, to some of these coaches' programs. Can you walk us through what your recruiting process was like? And really, not to cut you off, of course, but really be honest, because we have to think here. And Malik, it's a similar situation with him. We're talking about two of the best players that were on their respective teams. So again, we come from a very unique state where they are not coming here. So walk us through what you had to do, or what exactly did your recruiting process entail? Yes, she went to a D1 school again, 4-year starter, all 4 years.
Yeah.
However, what type of offers were you pulling in? Just walk us through your recruiting process, please.
Yeah, so I probably started getting recruited going into my 9th grade year. And we had a really good summer. Before that, we went to the nationals, and I think we ranked like 13th in the nationals, and then we won the US Junior Nationals, which is a big tournament in DC. So I had started getting, interest letters, where they just send you, you're on their recruiting board, basically, not necessarily high on their recruiting board, but they got interest in you, or they know who you are. So from there, like I said, the letters kept coming in. You know, you start getting phone calls or whatever the case may be. And then obviously I had a really good freshman year in high school. Not necessarily people coming to my high school games, but they starting to notice me a little bit more. Now I'm getting, phone calls, whatnot. Had a good summer that year. And then I want to say I went to a tournament in Tennessee and got ranked. And that's when the big dogs start coming in. I was getting letters from UNC Chapel Hill, Virginia Tech, Rutgers, Maryland, all of those schools with the big, big names, big coaches there. And after my junior year, I committed to Virginia Tech. I won Player of the Year, and shortly after that, I committed, which was fairly early to most people. And throughout the process, I was told, just to not necessarily keep my options open, because it was a verbal commit, so it wasn't anything down on paper or anything like that. But I was basically told not to put all my eggs in one basket, because you never know what could happen. And I'll be honest with you, after I committed, I kind of took my foot off the gas a little bit, because I was so hell bent on, getting out of West Virginia. Basketball is my ticket out, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, I'm working 24/7. I'm working all year round. And I'm like, shoot, I made it. I ain't got to work as hard anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of took my foot off the gas. I stopped going to tournaments, AAU tournaments. And then the worst case scenario happened. The Virginia Tech coaching staff ended up getting fired, and they told me to start talking to other people, because they weren't sure, where they were going to end up. So technically that's a decommit, but it took forever for them to, on the recruiting websites, it took forever for them to take my commitment off from Virginia Tech. So I lost all the high D1 interest that I had. And like I said, me and Pops is all up and down the East Coast. So any school you think of, I had a interest from, you know what I'm saying? So I lost all that interest, because high D1 programs, they finish recruiting. Well, most D1 programs, they finish recruiting way before that class even, graduates, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's trying to get there, you know what I'm saying? They got the cream of the crop pick. So from there, I was pretty devastated, because I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So from there, I went and I started looking at mid majors. So I think my top 3 were, after that, I think it was James Madison, William and Mary, A&T, obviously, Duquesne. It was a couple more, but it was, like I said, it was mostly mid majors. And I even thought about going to play at a junior college to get my offers back, because I talked to a couple of coaches that said if I went either JUCO or prep, that they would get me the following either year or 2 years, you know what I'm saying, if I went that route. So I thought about it. Like I said, we hit the road again, all up and down the East Coast. It was tiring, like you said, a lot of sacrificing. I don't know if you remember, but a lot of summers, weekends, I'm not around. You know what I'm saying? Dri is not around. I'm on the road, getting to it. And I'm so appreciative for my pops for, sacrificing it and dedicating and driving me all over the country, or the east side of the country. And then I got on A&T campus, and I was on campus during spring break, so it wasn't even like live like that. But that joint's so beautiful. I'm like, this it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
they
you
took
just know.
me, yeah, I just knew. Then they took me to all the like food spots, and I think we went to Stephanie's. We went to gosh, what's that seafood spot? I can't remember what the seafood spot is called. You probably don't know because you can't eat seafood. But they took me to all the popping spots. Stomach was hurting when I got back, but like the campus it was beautiful. Even the people that were still on campus, everybody was like, it's Southern hospitality down here, so they like, hey, how you doing? Everybody speaking, blah blah blah.
Right.
It was just love. I'm saying everybody that looked like me. I'm saying it's the melanated folks down there. I'm like, oh, hold up, this
Culture
different.
shock.
Yeah, I'm like, this different. So they offered me, well, obviously that was an official visit. So, they officially offered me while I was on campus, told me that they wanted to come down, wanted me to come down. And I'm like, all right. So I go home, I think on it for a little bit. I really wanted to go to James Madison though, because Coach Kenny Brooks was he was a heavy hitter back then. He had that program popping. But I couldn't get down there for the official visit. Something always just kept happening or whatever. So I never got around to getting to the official visit. So I think it was my brother's birthday. I ended up committing to A&T. And from there, it was all she wrote. And I think after my freshman year at A&T, the coaching staff left. And it was crazy because the coach that recruited me at William and Mary ended up coming to be the assistant coach at A&T. And one of the coaches, well, he didn't recruit me personally, but his coworker at VCU recruited me, and he ended up coming to be a head coach. So it all ended up working out in the end. But to answer your question, it's a rugged process, man. It's a lot of phone calls where people are trying to sell you their school, but initially they're just saying the same things. You keep hearing the same thing. You're trying to, get to know people. It's a very important decision to make at a young age too. You don't know, especially where we're from. Things are different outside of West Virginia. So it was a very big decision. It was very stressful. Like I said, at times, after I committed, I kind of, took my foot off the gas. And if that's a piece of advice that I can give somebody, was to, keep your foot on the gas until the job is done. Not until you think it's done, but till the job is completely finished. And if I can change anything, that's one thing that I would change.
Yeah, you kind of just answered my question. My follow-up question was going to be, following your recruiting process and what you know now, a lot of people don't know you served as the president of basketball operations shortly after your tenure of playing. So now that you know what it's like, from the admin side as well as being a student athlete, would you change anything about your recruiting process? If you legit could go back, would you do anything differently?
I don't think so. I think the only thing I would do differently is ask more questions, because like I said, my freshman year, it was rugged. In my personal opinion, I feel like the coaches didn't honor the promises that they made to myself and my family. But it always ends up working out. God always ends up making a way, and we got a very talented coaching staff coming that came in my sophomore year. But I think if anything, if I could change anything, I would just ask more questions, because a lot of these programs are people just to ensure that they care about you as an individual. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Obviously, you're there to help them, but they're also there to help you. You are the prize, because the ship don't sail without the players at the end of the day. So
Right.
definitely ask questions, just to see if people's intentions are pure, because like I said, I had two different coaching staffs night and day. where you could tell these people care about me. I still talk to my previous coaching staff from my sophomore year on out. Like to this day, I can call them, be like, "Hey, coach, what's up? I need some," or you know what I'm saying, "You need anything? I'll stop by." Yada yada yada. We have that type of rapport. As for the other coaching staff, haven't talked to them since they left campus.
Definitely, thank you for your insight. And, it just dawned on me. I remember, you sharing some of your discrepancies you had going on your freshman year. I remember you were about to transfer.
Yep. I thought about transferring.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I actually wanted to transfer. I remember calling my mom probably mid-year, and I'm like, "I'm done. I'm ready to come home. Like, just come get me." And she was like, "Well, what you gonna do?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she like, "Well, whenever you figure it out, call me back." Click. Just hung up. She like, "You're not just about to come home and sit around here. Like, you better figure it out." And I told my dad too. I'm like, "Call coaches, whoever. I don't care. I'll go JUCO, or I'll go, D2 and try to work my way back up." Like, I was that unhappy. But again, it was hard being away from family, being the only person out there. And then being young, a freshman, no car. Just that struggle in its own is hard. But on top of not being happy playing the game that you love, or you thought you loved at the time, you know what I'm saying? Adds a whole nother element to it. But I'm glad, my parents were serene, and, they had that vision to know that I was just going through a tough time, and that I was strong enough to push through it. And, that kind of not necessarily made me, but helped me push through it. And, I'm glad I stuck it out, because A&T is probably one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Yeah, A&T is a great institution. I definitely had a great experience up there. Biggest takeaways from some of the things Dri mentioned, just for our listeners, specifically our young listeners, during your recruiting process, please ask questions, please be observant, and please be mindful that it's a game.
It's a
there's
business.
recruiters that's going to tell you
It's a business. So
what you want to hear. Yeah, it's a business.
They're going to tell you whatever.
You're going to play your freshman year. Yeah, you're going to start. Yeah, promise you certain minutes. Then you get on campus, season comes, and it's like, your family coming to the game. They like, "Hold on, what? This isn't, he was just talking to me. This isn't what he told me."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, just be mindful, just ask questions, be strategic, be observant, and, most importantly, put in the work. You put in the work, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, and go to any school that you want. You know what I mean? With that said, Dri, if there's any advice that you could give to, young student athletes regarding the work they have to put in, and, just how to go about getting recruited, what would you tell them?
I think probably, just love the game, fall in love with the game. You have to do extra. Practice is not enough. 2 hours of practice that you do with your team is not enough. Stay in the gym. Obviously, market yourself. So kids nowadays, they have an upside, way bigger of an upside than what we had, because they have social media. So put your highlights out on social media, DM them coaches or whatever the case may be, just to get on somebody's recruiting board. Go to camps, go to elite camps, go to team camps, go to whatever school that you want to go to. Recruit them. You know what I'm saying? Go to those, sign up. You're gonna have to sacrifice a little bit, but spend a little $100 to go to the camp. Just to get in front of their faces, because there's a lot of kids out here that say they want to play college basketball. So you have to figure out a way to stand out And that's another topic too, or another point, is stand out. How am I going to separate myself from these thousands of other kids that want to play college basketball? Like I said, I thought the game better than anybody else. So that was my, I guess, upside, was that I knew every position inside and out, 1 through 5, inside and out. And I could usually guard or play any position 1 through 5, inside and out, except for when I got to college, because obviously when you get to college, they 6'4", 6'2", 6'4". I'm not guarding that. But even with that, just jumping back, I was comfortable enough to, when we're doing different defensive schemes, I could stay in front the post for a little bit. My coach was comfortable enough with me doing that till my post player could get back in action. You know what I'm saying? So just find your niche. Find whatever it is that's gonna make you stand out and own that. What else? Like I said, ask questions. Recognize that you are, the prize, but also have humility in that. So what I mean by that is, like I said, you are the prize, but you can't go into the situation thinking that, not overly confident. What word am I looking for? Cocky and conceited. You know what I'm saying? Still be humble, and the fact that these coaches have an opportunity for you. It seize it. Every opportunity that you get, seize it. I know I might sound like an old head when I say this, but your attitude matters. Your work ethic matters. How hard you play in the game. How good of a teammate you are, that matters. If you just, if you're not engaged with your team, coaches see that. They see all of that, and they take note to it. I think that's all I got right now, just off the top of my head.
100%. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you, for just taking the time to share your story. I think it's important for our listeners to understand who they're talking to, because like I said, these are two of the best athletes from our area. Malik is younger than us, 1 year younger than us, and I stamp he is one of the best athletes. He won't say it, she won't say it, I'll say it. They are two of the best athletes from our area, from our era. Put them up with anyone. So with that being said, transitioning to my dear brother, Malik Hampton, again, he's so modest. He never talks about his high school days. He's not out here pushing the highlight tape, even though, we went to West Virginia University together. Word got out about his highlight tape. They were telling him to try out for the team. Y'all, this is a Power 5 D1 school. Just to give y'all background on, Malik real fast. His senior year, he went to G-Dub as well, unfortunately, but it's all good. His senior year, they went to the state championship. They were state runner-ups. Malik was second team All-State. Should have been first team, but it's all good. Second team All-State, first team All-MSAC. My brother had almost 2,000 all-purpose yards. He was a punt returner, kick returner. Started DB, started receiver. Even got the ball. Very similar, he won't say it, I'll say it. Remind me a lot of Percy Harvin. Fast, strong, tenacious, aggressive. Malik, when I think about you in football, I think about that cap game your senior year, when you had 3 tugs out there going crazy. My brother had 18 total touchdowns his senior year. So if I left anything out, I apologize. But man, when you think of G-Dub, I think of Cortez Lacey. I think of Felix. Shout out to Felix. I think of Shaq Williams. Shout out to Shaq. I think of Malik Hampton, man. I'm not trying to be biased, but you got to put him up there with some of the big dogs that walk through that program. You know what I'm saying? So, my good brother, if you could just give our listeners just a little background about yourself real quick, please. Malik Hampton, you know.
I appreciate the introduction, Kay. My shit is gonna be, excuse my language, but mine is gonna be a little less lengthy, I guess you can say. I'm born and raised in Charleston. I started playing football when I was 4 years old. It's actually shit. That was my first love, for real. Like, it's the only sport that I gravitated to when I was young. Like, I didn't start playing. Dri said she ain't start playing basketball till second grade. Like, I didn't start playing basketball till probably like fourth, fifth grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even want to play. You know, my uncle had started an AAU team, you know, called the Bombers when I was in like fourth grade, and he made me play. He made me be on the original roster. I did not want to play at all. I was going to, you know, just play football the rest of my life, bro. Like, I was truly content on that.
Hey, Leek, not to cut you off, but do you remember when we played y'all in that tournament?
Oh, yeah, we used to have some bang. I was going to break it up. You ain't even have to worry about You ain't even have to worry about I swear I was going to break it up, man. We didn't play some bangers with the Lady Warriors, man. You ain't even got to tell me, man. Oh, man, super intense games. They was nice, though. Like, they banging. Like, we had some battles with them girls, bro. No cap, bro. I promise you. Bro, my cousin Wonka, bro, he used to play linebacker for Cap back in the day. You know, stud linebacker. You know, a lot of the old heads and stuff know him. He actually put the football in my hands, bro. Like, just playing in front of my pawpaw's crib on first half on the west, you know what I'm saying? He used to just rough us off, get us mean, bro, you know what I'm saying? So my very first position I played when I was a kid, man, was nose guard. I started out as a nose guard, bro. Like 4 years old, you know, I was playing up. So funny, like, I got a story. Like, I was too young to be playing, bro, but I had started the whole year. And we got to the championship game, bro, and they told me I couldn't play because I was too young. I played the whole year, bro. And they told me I couldn't play in the championship game because I was too young, bro. So that should give you a background about, like, you know, how early I started, you know, how much it's in me. What else, man? Yeah, I ended up, you know, just football's just always been my niche, bro. It's just something that's, you know, when they talk about, you know, some people just got God-given abilities, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, football was that for me. Like, I didn't have to work at it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to do too much, you know what I'm saying? I just had to just put me on the field, you know what I'm saying? And I could play, you know. Where I transitioned and got, you know, better, you know, into the game was midget league, man. Like I said, I used to play nose guard. My mom, you know, shout out to my mom. My Uncle Michael just so happened to be my coach on C team when I was that young too, you know what I'm saying? And we was in practice one day and she just told him to give me the ball. She like, you know, let Malik try to run the ball. Let Malik, you know what I'm saying, you know, touch the ball one time. Where he gave him the ball and I scored, bro. I scored in like a practice, you know what I'm saying? He like, you know, he was just shocked. So that's kind of like where I really started getting, you know, I was a running back all the way up until I got to high school, you know, because I didn't want to take that punishment. You know, I wasn't in the weight room or no stuff like that. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you know, it's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just one of those rare people. Like, I could just get up and play, bro. Like, most of my, you know, abilities, like, you know what I'm saying, where I would go above and beyond people would just be film study, bro. Like, I would just study film. Like, just study the game as hard as I could, study players that, you know, that I seen that was super talented, you know what I'm saying, that I wanted to model my game after. And I would just try to apply it to it. Just study it and apply it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, football was my thing, man. I played multiple sports. I played basketball too, since 4th grade growing up, which once I got to high school, funny story, I almost quit football. I called myself a hooper at one point in my life, bro. Like probably like my 7th, like into my 7th, going to 8th grade, then right in the 9th, I feel like I'm at my peak with basketball. Like I feel like, I got some game I can play. So I go into high school and I'm not even playing. I'm not doing none of the summer workouts with the football team. I'm strictly on the hoop team, even playing with the varsity, like over the summer, stuff like that. So I wasn't even going to play, bro. And I lie to you not, the first day of high school, I went to school, bro, and I walked past the football field, bro, and they was practicing after. And I'm just like, bro, like, I gotta play football, like
Yeah,
that
I miss
joint.
it,
Yeah, So I just walked out there and played football. And the rest is really history, man. Yeah, just like Kay said, man, I don't talk about it, It don't really mean much to me, If you was there and you got to witness it, then you know what it was about, Other than that, I ain't, I ain't losing sleep over it. I ain't out there trying to prove nothing, man. Yeah, bro. That's pretty much my background, man. Just a young kid that had it, bro. Really, truly.
No, I respect it. Definitely respect, you always being modest. You know what I mean? With that being said, I feel like your story is very similar to a lot of our talented athletes from the area in reference to, the resources that y'all have. You know what I mean? Like even when we were speaking earlier about your highlight video, you know what I mean? Even when we were speaking earlier about, retrieving some of your stats, Dri, she had her father, really on it in regards to really just getting her out there. He was taking care of her Max Preps account and things of that nature. Can you take our listeners through what happened during your recruiting process? So, okay, boom, like I mentioned previously, I made it to the state championship. Everyone knows that you're playing with a soon-to-be D1 athlete in Ryan Switzer, but he's younger than you. So just logically speaking, a lot of scouts are coming to watch him play. But boy, you was putting on such a show. I know you were getting looks as well. So can you take our listeners through the recruiting process and what may have happened and what you think could have been different to, I guess, help push you more so that you could go to, the JUCO route or go to the prep school, which we're going to speak on here shortly. But yeah, can you take us through your recruiting process, please?
My recruiting process started out, it started out my junior year. To be honest with you, we used to do a lot of like 7-on-7 camps and stuff like that over the summer, to go to colleges and play 7-on-7. So initially I would get a couple letters, from, small schools or whatever campus we was on, They'd take a look into me and have me fill out some stuff, try to get some information about me. I got a couple letters from like North Carolina State, Tennessee, who else? Old Dominion, just some random schools, like, but it's kind of like Dri was saying, like, that don't mean nothing though, at that age, like,
Right.
Especially me just coming on the radar and not really playing too much in front of them. It was just somehow happened. They knew who I was, but it wasn't like they were seriously recruiting me or whatever. Coming into my senior year, I didn't do no camps, bro. I didn't really, the stuff Dri's talking about, like, like, I didn't truly necessarily do that stuff. Like, when I tell you, I just used to get up and play, bro. Like I just used to get up and play. Like it wasn't no extra works, no none of that going into my process, bro. Like, so it would be just random when the school would, just call to inquire about me. Like you said, they would see me play, you know what I'm saying? And then that's how I would figure out like Lehigh University, like Ohio University, schools like that, you know what I'm saying? They would come and talk to me. But like I was so not out there with it, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Like when I would meet some of these schools, you know what I'm saying, they talk to me, they'd be like, man, we didn't even know you were interested in playing, like, beyond high school, just because we never heard from you, you know what I'm saying? Like they say you don't really talk about it, stuff like that, so that kind of, I guess you could say, hindered me, that I didn't put myself out there, as much as I could. Like, yeah, I had the highlight tape. I would send it to who I wanted to send it to, I guess you can say, you know what I'm saying? Not probably just send it out as much as I should have, just get it out there to everybody so everybody can take a look at it, But yeah, my recruiting process was just, if they see me play, you know what I'm saying, then somehow, some way I might end up running into them, you know what I'm saying, having a conversation with somebody, But where I was so just not out there about it, a lot of schools didn't know, that I even wanted to play after high school, they just thought, I'm just some random kid out there, just playing ball, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of how my recruiting process went, man. I just didn't, I didn't exercise, all the resources I had. Like Dri said, they got way more resources nowadays, you know what I'm saying? All I could do was, look up emails, you know what I'm saying? Go on directories, you know what I'm saying? And try to find an email or something for a coach, recruiting coordinator, you know what I'm saying? Something, and then send it out that way, But other than that, yeah, like I wasn't truly aware like how I was once I got out of school and started really paying attention to recruiting, you know what I'm saying, just following ball, because I love it and whatnot. I wasn't aware of like just certain camps that you could go to that'll take you to another camp, you know what I'm saying? If you perform well at this camp, that'll take you to like the bigger camp that you really need to be at, you know what I'm saying, to really get your name out there. Like it wasn't stuff that I was truly like well versed in, you know what I'm saying? Just me being a high school kid, you know what I'm saying? Like it just wasn't something that I was, truly versed in. It was my mom's, you know what I'm saying? Like couldn't say, she made sure I always had what I needed, you know what I'm saying? And if I wanted to do something, I could do it. But, she had, a lot on her plate, you know what I'm saying, growing up too. So I never wanted to bother her with it, you know what I'm saying? As far as like, just having to scrape up some bread or something, you know what I'm saying, to make a trip happen, stuff like that, bro, for real. So it was just me being more so just quiet and humble about it, bro. It's just like, I was always told, and it's not like this, you know what I'm saying? I hate when the old heads say this, like, if you're good enough, they're gonna come find you, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how recruiting works. That's not how it works at all, bro. Like, at all. Like, it might have worked like that back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, but
it's too many people that are good now.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not how it happens, bro. That's just not how it's supposed to go. You gotta go out here and make yourself known. Like Dri said, you gotta go put yourself in front of these colleges, you know what I'm saying? And they camps, they all have camps, you know what I'm saying? You can go to their little individual camps, you know what I'm saying, their little showcases, whatever, but it's some sacrifices you gotta make, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't too well versed in all of them, you know what I'm saying? And some of them I just knew I couldn't go to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't in the plans, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was I going to get there, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, it just wasn't, it wasn't always going work out, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't even trying to bother moms with it, you know what I'm saying? I was cool with, with what I was getting, you know what I'm saying? Until, senior year came around, and then I was like,
Damn,
where
what's
all
up?
this stuff at? Yeah, like what's up, you know what I'm saying? Because like I know I'm nice, you know what I'm saying? Like I know what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? It's just, what else I need to do, So that was my recruiting process.
I will say this, just to kind of piggyback off what you said, and I kind of got a follow-up question too. I think you answered it, but as far as resources go, when you do get your name out there, or you are good, and people really want you, they'll find a way to get you to the camp, or they'll find a way to get you, like, what I'm saying. A lot of people let, I guess, circumstances kind of deter 'em from, like, oh man, I ain't gonna be able to make it. But like I said, it's a business, so they're gonna find a way to get you there, or find a way for you to, be able to uh, come showcase yourself. And I think now uh, they even have, like, not necessarily sports agencies, but it's something of that extent that high schoolers can, I guess, join or pay for. And they'll put your highlight tapes out there. They'll do what you're talking about, find the emails. Like, they'll basically be your manager in a sense, where they're, like, I guess, like, not necessarily spamming, but almost spamming all college coaches, the colleges that you're interested in, just like getting your name out there and stuff. So
Nah,
that's
it's
just
a fact.
that's just a tidbit for, the up and comings. Like, look into that stuff if you don't know.
Into it, yeah. It's stuff
Yeah.
out there, like you saying it is. Like me, I just wasn't like,
Was it was it like lack of knowledge, or was it like lack of want to? Did you know that you wanted to play football in college, or was it just like, if I get to do it, that'd be dope. If I don't, it's whatever.
I I knew I wanted to play. I mean, I couldn't see me doing nothing else but playing for real, for real. But at the same time, it was just lack of knowledge, man. It was like, you know, just not me not doing enough research, you know what I'm saying, on my end. Like I knew there was certain stuff that I could do around the way, you know what I'm saying, like here in the state, but looking hindsight back into it, like it's from the football standpoint. See, I see it a little different because like basketball, like I see they do a little stuff for the basketball too, but they really got some pull, you know what I'm saying? You really can end up playing against somebody in some of these little, basketball things that they got, Whereas football is more like individual. They want to show off your skills, your speed, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, where you don't really, sometimes you might not get to play against nobody, you know what I'm saying? They going off of strictly what your numbers is, what you tested at, you know what I'm saying? So I knew it was a couple of those, but I ain't take them serious. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm like, man, like everybody that I've seen come through and do these little things, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing really come from it, you know what I'm saying? So I was more so just thinking about other combines and camps that I might be able to get into, you know what I'm saying, to try and do. I think I did one combine or two when I was in high school, but like I said, it was just some local stuff that, even then you had to come out of pocket for some bread, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I did, but I just knew it wasn't where I needed to be, you know what I'm saying? So like, really, it was just more so lack of knowledge, I just wasn't extensively doing research, you know what I'm saying? Like I would do enough to think I'm, you know what I'm saying, making the effort, I guess you can say. But once you know what I'm saying, once I got away from it and got older out of school, like I realized, like, it was still so much more research I could be doing, you know what I'm saying, could have done, you know what I'm saying, to really try and put a greater effort towards it, But I knew I wanted to play. I knew I was good enough to play too. It was just, like I said, it was just Just lack of knowledge, man. I didn't use all my resources like I could have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I looked into a lot of schools, you know what I'm saying? A lot of D1 AA schools, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, you know. But if I could go back, you know, I'd definitely look into like JUCOs and stuff. Like I didn't even really know the purpose of a JUCO back then when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't either until I got presented with the opportunity, like from a JUCO in Florida. They were like, "Hey, you come to here, you know, we got these players to this place, and I'm like, "Oh shoot," you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel you. I think it helps too that basketball players have AAU because I think that's where I got a lot of my recognition from, just being in different states. And like you said, you play against a top level player and you perform, and they like, "Oh, hold up, who this?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like
that's
football, you don't get to do that. Like you're not gonna get to play against a quarterback that's a 5-star coming out of Washington. You know what I'm saying? Like where will we play each other at? You know what I'm saying? Besides a combine where they might do some 7-on-7 work, you know what I'm saying? But to get there, you know what I'm saying, you got to perform certain ways in these other combines, you know what I'm saying, to get your look. Now, don't get me wrong. That's where I said, like, I needed to do a little more research because if I would have, you know what I'm saying, I could have possibly, like, you know, maybe scraped up a little bit of my money, you know what I'm saying, me personally to help, you know what I'm saying, to help me do some stuff because come to find out there is certain combines that you can pay your way into, you know what I'm saying? They're just like, you know, like small time regional ones, you know what I'm saying, where you will do 7-on-7 work, you will get to, you know what I'm saying, showcase your talent besides just the numbers test, you know what I'm saying? That will get you to a bigger and better combine, you know what I'm saying, get you your name out there more, you know what I'm saying? But just me being, you know, just naive and not really too deep into like, you know what I'm saying, what I needed to be into. Like it was just more so like I'm thinking you got to do something at like these BS combines, you know what I'm saying? You got to run a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Then they'll help you get to another one, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like that. There are some they do the Nike joints, they do them regional joints, bro, every year, bro. All you got to do is pay to get into it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you perform there, you know, you go into bigger and better ones, you know what I'm saying? You really get out there. And it's just, like I said, just me not lack of knowledge, man. I just wasn't really too deep into it. Like I had my list of schools, you know what I'm saying, small and big that I would like to go to, you know what I'm saying? Then there was other ones that I would just send out as like Hail Marys and stuff, you know what I'm saying, just to get my name on the radar possibly, you know, but if I was really deep into it, I'd have sent my name to I'd have sent my stuff to like all 119 whatever schools it was at that time, you know what I'm saying, on the FBS level and the FCS level, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd have did all that if I really, really knew, you know what I'm saying, look into it. I'd have sent it to every JUCO possible. Like I didn't send my stuff to no JUCOs, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even know what a JUCO could really do for you back then. Like it wasn't even on my radar at all, you know what I'm saying? Like you had heard about a couple prep schools, you know what I'm saying, post-grad programs that would help you, but other than that, you know, that's where it fell at, you know what I'm saying? Like just didn't put myself out there enough, for real. Lack of knowledge, man.
Lack of knowledge, man. You answered my follow-up question. You know, I was going to ask, what would you do differently if you could? But you just touched upon that. So transition into my next question I had for you. Can you walk us through, you know, so you weren't aware of JUCOs in reference to, you know, what they could do for you and how it could help elevate your situation, but you were aware of prep schools and what they could do for your situation. So could you walk us through, you know, what happened during your tryout to the prep school that you went to? You went to Hargrave, had the opportunity to go to Hargrave, if I'm not mistaken. So could you just walk us through, you know, how you even gained that opportunity, and when you did gain that opportunity, what you had to do at tryouts?
Where I had a coach from I told y'all about Lehigh University. Lehigh, coach that he had been watching me. He said for I don't know. I guess he came across my tape on the internet or something, and he liked me, and he had inquired about me. But ironically, the coaches, you know, at the school, whatever, they told him that I was a junior, but I was really a senior. They told him I was a junior and he would have time to like recruit me or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So like they was kind of like putting it off, you know what I'm saying? But I guess he still hadn't heard nothing. So he had reached out and I guess called my mom's, like he had got a hold of my mom somehow. And he was telling her, you know what I'm saying, what had happened, like how he had been, you know, trying to recruit me. But once he realized that I was a senior, not a junior, like they had told him, like he knew he couldn't get me into Lehigh, because if you know about Lehigh, that's damn near Ivy League, bro. Like that's a good school, you know what I'm saying?
Very good institution, yeah.
And he like you know, I won't be able to get him in, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm cool with, you know, I've got some connections down at, you know, hard grade, post grad. He was like, you know, I can get him a tryout and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gotta, you know, pay for nothing. He just gotta show up. When he told me and my mom straight up though, he like, man, he like, you know, I know you're gonna make the team down there. He was like, and it's gonna be over for Lehigh, you know, like it's like you're gonna have bigger and better things, you know what I'm saying? He like, but you know, I believe in your talent that much, like, you know, I'm gonna set it up. So we went down there one weekend, me and the fam. That joint's in the middle of nowhere, somewhere out there in Virginia, bro. Like out there in the backwoods, like there's literally nothing back there, bro. It's crazy. And I had to try out. They do like a combine thing, you know what I'm saying? Like do all your measurables, you know what I'm saying? What you can bench, what you run in the 40, all that, you know. So I did all that. And we had a tryout. We had a 7-on-7, like we played 7-on-7 the whole day, you know, out there with the coaches and the OC and stuff. And me and this dude, I forget bro his name. He ended up going to Clemson. I forget his name, but like he was playing tight end. And the coach just took a liking to me and him out there all day. Like, you know, y'all two stay together, you know, y'all just run these routes or whatever. So I killed the tryout, made the team, got me a partial scholarship down there. So everything was good, you know what I'm saying? Like basically what they had given me like was going to take care of just about whatever I needed to, you know what I'm saying? I would just have to scrap up a little bit. So that's what I was going to do. And then I guess I don't even know if it was a couple players, like some players maybe might not have been able to get in or something like that. Or they just wanted to hold an extra tryout. So they held an extra tryout for like 2 extra tryouts to get more people on the team. And the coach had called us back and was like, you know, you still got scholarship money, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to be a little less, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to, you know, pick up the rest of it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, you know, most people just get, you know, they get loans or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to do the rest of their stuff. And my mom had just bought our house that we live in, you know what I'm saying, in Cross Lane. She had brought it my senior year, but I didn't move into it until like the day before I went to college, ironically. So she couldn't help me take out a loan, you know what I'm saying? So like, I just basically ended up not wanting to, you know what I'm saying, just not going, you know what I'm saying? Cause like my Nana at the time was in the transition and getting in the house. Dri's mom actually helped my Nana get her house, you know what I'm saying, that she had and that she has in Taves Valley, you know what I'm saying? So like, it was just, everybody just had, you know, in my inner circle, just had money tied up, you know what I'm saying, doing, you know what I'm saying, what they should have been doing, transitioning in life, you know what I'm saying? So just couldn't really figure out how I was going to fill the rest of that scholarship out. So I just decided to go to school, man. I just, you know, that's where I say like, you know, I kind of went wrong. If there's any regret that I have, you know what I'm saying, about my career, it's just truly not looking into every option, bro. Like I don't 100% went to a JUCO somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere, you know what I'm saying? If I'd have truly knew about it, you know what I'm saying? But once that fell through, I kind of felt like that was my last option, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, instead of going to, you know, somewhere in the conference, you know what I'm saying, something small like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'll just go to school. I ain't gonna waste my time. Like, you know, that's not a good mindset to have. So you young people don't have the mindset that I had at all, you know what I'm saying? Like go to state, get your education, you know what I'm saying? Get your free education, do all that, you know what I'm saying? Me, you know, I was just a little more cocky with it. Like I knew what type of talent I had, you know what I'm saying? Because like I told you, you know, you read off all them stats, you know what I'm saying? I'm the second leading scorer in the conference. Behind Switzer, we on the same team. And I'm not even getting half the touches for us getting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting probably a fraction of it, you know what I'm saying? And this is no extra work. This is no weightlifting. This is no, I'm doing extra drills by myself, you know what I'm saying? Kids as well, don't be like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, get out there and work on your game every day like you can, you know what I'm saying? Me, I was just a little different, you know, so yeah, I just knew where my talent level was, and I knew it wasn't the options that I ended up with at the end, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, freaking, man, I'm gonna go to school, bro. Like, it was cool. You know, I wasn't tripping off of it. You know, it was that's just what I decided to do. But if I could do it differently, I'd have probably went to a JUCO, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere found a JUCO just because that's how a lot of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the good dudes these days, you know what I'm saying? Like if it don't work out for them, you know what I'm saying, that's the option that they take, you know what I'm saying? All the JUCOs got lines to the big schools too, you know what I'm saying? Like, so don't ever think you can't go to JUCO and make something shake from there either, you know what I'm saying? That's the only regret I truly got, bro. Other than that, I don't regret none of that. You know, none of what happened, what I had to go through, none of that, bro.
I know you had D2 offers. I know that for a fact.
It's a fact.
You didn't want to. You weren't interested in going D2.
Nah, I wasn't trying to waste, bro. I feel like a lot of that stuff was a waste of my time, bro. Like, you gotta be like, don't get me wrong, like, that's what I'm saying. The young dude should not have this mindset at all, bro. Like, go play, go showcase your talent, bro. You know what I'm saying? They will come find you for sure at that level. Like at the college level, if you're doing what you're supposed to, not saying you're gonna make it in the league, you know what I'm saying? But if you out there killing somewhere, no matter if you're in Idaho, like North Dakota somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Like they will come give you a shot because the NFL is always looking for talent, you know what I'm saying? Like they always looking to pay somebody less for more, you know what I'm saying? So that's something you should do. But yeah, like I wasn't trying to go, you know, no disrespect, you know, I wasn't trying to go to none of them these two schools that I had, bro.
No, for sure. No, I understand.
I think that's important to highlight too. I think a lot of people have that mindset like, nah, I'm D1. Like I ain't trying to go. I ain't trying to go D2, D3, JUCO. I ain't trying to do none of that. It's D1 or nothing. But like you said, it's a blessing, or it's it's a blessing to play a sport beyond high school and whatever level you go to. Especially like knowing what I know now, there's so many people that have connections, because once you get past a certain point, like the old folks say, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So you never know what type of situation you could go into. You could go to a D2 school that the coach may have come from a D1 program and still like, hey, still had that connection and could reach out and be like, hey, I got this kid. He's a special talent. I got him for now, but shoot, if y'all, you know what I'm saying? You never know what can happen. So like Leek said, kids, if you get an opportunity to play beyond high school,
take that joint, bro.
Please take it.
Please take it.
Please take it.
And,
it's the best thing you can do, because at the end of the day, you're going to want to get an education too, bro.
Yeah, that education piece. You know, people are swimming in debt from student loan debt. So if you got an opportunity to get even partial scholarship, like take them, you know what I'm saying? You can figure out another way, like to apply for different grants and all of that stuff to pay for the other piece. Whatever you need to do, just do your research and you know, take that money.
Take it. Do what you got to do, man. And piggyback on what both of y'all saying. You know, a lot of people don't know Blake Brooks, may God rest his soul. He finished his athletic career at a D1 school at Marshall University. A lot of y'all don't know he started out at a D2 school. Mm-hmm. He started out at D2. Mm-hmm. Transferred up.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of people that do that.
So think about it, y'all. But think about Blake Brooks, where we come from. Everybody thought he was going to go D1. Easy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you had to work for it. So, you know, to the youngins, you know, don't let, you know, your current situation or, you know, current opportunities, which you have available, don't let that define you. You know what I mean? If you got a vision, if you got a goal, if you put the work in, like bro said, they will find you. You know what I mean? You just network, build those connections, and you can fulfill any dream that you have. You know what I mean? But you got to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of the biggest takeaways that, you know, I take from my brother is, you know, I had opportunities to play D2 myself, you know, Concord specifically, you know, state. But, you know, Malik is a year younger than us. We come from the same era. Where we from, in our era, if it wasn't D1, we're not about to go to state. We're not about to go to Fairmont, Concord. We're not about to go to Tech. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? And in all actuality, you know, I had fraternity brothers that went to Fairmont, that went to West Virginia Wesleyan, you know, that played D2 ball, that got opportunities. No, they may not have made it to the NFL, but, you know, they were in the CFL specifically. So there's other avenues where you can make a living and still provide for your family and still fulfill your dream of being a football player. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, like we said, you know, any student athlete, it doesn't matter if it's D1, D2, you're going to get love on campus. Take it from someone that's in a fraternity who has brothers that go to D2 schools. I'm telling y'all, it's not much of a difference. I'm talking my fraternity brothers at Fairmont was so lit, they thought they could beat WU. Now I had to humble them one day, but just to give y'all background on, you know, how much love they was getting. They just felt it with such conviction that they could, you know what I mean? There is a little difference though.
Yeah. And we're gonna touch on that on a different episode, but you know, I always talk about the resources. That's the only difference for real. But
100%.
We'll talk about that on a different episode.
Yeah. You got talent. For real. But like you said, the difference in that stuff is the resources. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. But yeah, you should always, bro, like do what you gotta do, man. Go get the free education more than anything.
Go get the money.
Go get it more than anything, bro. Because like that's just what you're gonna want to fall back on. Anyway, if you don't want to play sports, you want to go to college. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well just, if you're gonna go to college, might as well use that to, you know, get your free education, bro. You can't beat it, bro. That's like the best. That's the best thing you can have out coming out of high school. Opportunity to get free education. No cap.
Right. That college experience, it extends your youth a little bit too. So you don't have to jump right into, you know, I mean, some people still work and go to school, but it's still different. You know what I'm saying? The responsibility and all of that good stuff. So I know, you know, some people are anti, like, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily anti-college, but it's, you know, it's definitely an experience that you will want outside of the books. You know what I'm saying? It just teaches you a lot about life and survival.
It's a fact. Yeah. And you're right. College ain't for everybody, but if it's for you, take the free education. If you got it, if you come across it.
even if it ain't for you, take the free education. You got an opportunity to go for free, my G.
Take it.
Take it.
Go for free.
Take
9
it.
times out of 10, you're gonna meet your best friend at college.
Facts. We're really good friends.
You know what I mean? Unless you're like us, you know, I was able to be blessed enough to go to college with my female best friend and one of my male best friends in the league. So, you know, college is a beautiful thing. But, you know, speaking of Malik, though, Malik still communicates and plays the game. And he's even went and stayed with gentlemen that he's met in college. So it just shows you, you know,
Shout out Drew, man.
That can last from, you know, college. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So.
Facts.
But yeah, I had a couple questions. I appreciate you, Malik. I had a couple more questions for you, but you pretty much answered everything in your, you know, in your speech, you know, your answers, excuse me. You know, that's just one point I really wanted to focus on was, you know, what happened with you, you know, because I know how good you are. I know how much you love the game. They're about to see how knowledgeable you are of the game. Both of you. That's why, you know, we made it a point. You know what I mean? You know, I told them both all the time. You know, I wanted the world to hear their knowledge about sports so bad. We had to start a company, man. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, you know, again, this is our pilot episode 1 of many. You know, my lovely co-host, Dri Nazario, Malik Hampton, G2 of G-Dub's finest, George Washington's finest. Dri's class of 2011, Malik's class of 2012. Malik, for the listeners, going forward, you know, Dri already has her jersey retired up at the school. Malik, his Hall of Fame induction, quick announcement, and correct me if I'm wrong, brother, but Malik Hampton will be inducted to the George Washington Hall of Fame on September the 10th, correct?
That is correct, brother.
Whoa, that's dope. That's dope. That is dope.
Again, he's not going to talk about it. He probably ain't even going to, you know, say too much about it on the socials, but when we release this, you know, just keep that in mind, September 10th. You know, he will be honored. And yeah, just look out for us going forward, man. I appreciate you two so much for, you know, being honest and open, you know, because that is a tough conversation to have just to go back, because it can only be tough because I know we all have different things that we'll do differently now that we're adults. So it's tough to think like, man, if I would have known, I would have done this differently. If I could have had this.
That's why I like to harp on it, bro.
I mean, these kids, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm just glad that you all, and you can hear it in the interview, you know, y'all aren't clinging on to that. Y'all don't dwell on anything in the past. There's no grudges. There's no resentment. You know what I mean? These are all just, y'all have very good self-concepts of yourselves. So y'all know internally, you know, what y'all could have done differently. And, you know, what resources that we were lacking. But, you know, going forward, that's why we want to help, you know, these youngins create that exposure, develop some new resources so that they, you know, can change the trend and change the narrative. So, you know, with that being said, man, episode 1, Married to the Game, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? I thank y'all, and, you know, y'all have a good evening, man. Be looking out for us, man. Episode 2, we got some great interviews lined up in the future too. Telling y'all, just wait on it, man. These, like I said, these are 2 of the city's legends. And that's one of the things, that's one of the goals of our platform, is honoring our city's legends. West Virginia has a lot of talent that comes from our state. And this platform, we will help highlight that. So thank you, and God bless, man. See us in the network.
We out.
Oh, man.